Welcome back. We are concentrating on the market players, the brokerage companies. They've seen a massive run-up in the last 3 months. First, we have Abhishek joining in to give us the key numbers from this space. Abhishek.
Well, stocks of brokerages and market intermediaries have been on the run in past few months. They are up anywhere between 70% to as high as 310%. Angel Broking leads the pack, with a gain of over 300% in last 3 months. BSE has gained about 110% and ICICI Securities has gained about 90%. The laggard in this field has been 5paisa with a gain of just 50%. The number of demat accounts are up about 50%, when compared to 4.1 million, 41 million, they are now up to 62 million. So they have risen steadily from 21 million at the end of FY13 to about 36 million at the end of FY19. After which the pace has picked up and they have scaled to 41 million in 2020, 55 million in fiscal 21 and finally reaching about 62 million right now. The average daily market turnover has grown steadily from about 14,000 crore rupees at the end of 2011 to more than 36,000 crore at the end of fiscal 20. Since then, it has doubled to about rupees 70,000 crore at the end of last fiscal. The trend in demat account also has been interestingly on a higher side. It has been a higher correlation with BSE 500 at about 0.96, while the number of demat accounts have grown from 21 million at the end of 2013 to about 62 million as of now. The BSE 500 index has gained from nearly about 7,500 to about over 21,800 over the same period. The high correlation with the market poses a risk of a decline when the market dips.
No, we got it. So there is a great correlation to the market increase also. Thank you very much for joining us, Abhishek, with a very interesting set of data. Let's get to the experts. Dinesh Thakkar, Chairman Managing Director at Angel Broking, and Mithun Ashwath, the Managing Partner at Kiva Advisors, join in. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Dinesh, you're almost the hero of the moment at this point in time with everything firing so well for your stock and for the industry. Tell us, what are the strengths? I mean, is this entirely dependent on the stock market's cheer, the bull run?
See, Lata, we have seen there is a correlation of when stock market really appreciates, lots of people come in. But this time trend is a bit different. What we are seeing this time is that people from tier 2, tier 3 and beyond who never had an access to this market, they have got an opportunity to have an access to this market. Not only access to the market, but even access to information and lots of tools that this app brings in terms of educating them on app and all that. So this time it is, I think, multiple things which has helped this sector to grow. One, people who are coming from tier 2, tier 3, who never actually had an opportunity to take an advantage of virtues of this equity. Now they have an access and information, and they are young and they are ready to explore the market. Second, COVID lockdown, almost forced everyone to explore opportunities of where to invest and all that. And currently, as we all know, that equity is best asset class compared to all other asset classes. So once we see that this kind of a trend starts and millennials comes to this market, they remain in this market for a longer time. That is what has helped this industry to really grow and get that recognition, what was needed.
Do you think, Dinesh, there can be more of this? I mean, are you expecting that now you will have people using the digital medium to advise on stocks? Do you think that there will be, are there more avenues to grow, value-added avenues?
Yes, Lata, I believe, see, this journey has just started. If you see this, equity has performed very well since last 20-25 years, but rarely we have seen kind of masses getting attracted towards the asset class. But now this app is capable to educate them, to guide them on, nudge them on the right journey. See what this app does, like today we have around 55 lakh customers. So in physical world, we used to have RM used to guide each and every person understanding their persona, their requirement. But in this app world, it is very easy to identify what kind of people are coming, create personas and create right programs in terms of how to start their journey, how to educate them on their first steps. And if they are unable to understand few things and how to make them realize about loss, profits, about compounding story of equity. So this app has become very intelligent now. It is just beyond just being an app. It is like a lifetime financial partner for each and every individual whose ticket size may be just 25,000 rupees, which was never the case before.
Okay.
Do you think also, because of the IPO frenzy, there is an increased retail participation? There's a FOMO feeling of sort, the fear of missing out, especially in these big IPOs like Zomato. I'm going to come to you, Mr. Thakkar. I want to pose that question first to Mithun Aswath of Kiva Advisors, who joins in. Mithun, good morning. Your thoughts on the record demat accounts that are opening up, and how much does this IPO frenzy have a part to play in it?
Yeah, morning, Sonia. I think obviously, the COVID situation and the awareness in terms of digital has helped, increase penetration of, the number of broking accounts, especially, companies like Angel and new fintech companies are pushing for newer age investors. If you see, I think the millennials play a large part of this incremental addition to the demat accounts as well as the broking accounts. So I think this is something to do with also penetration of technology and awareness, and companies such as Angel and the other fintech companies are helping increase awareness. But you are right, the recent IPO frenzy and the opportunities that investors are seeing obviously attracts a first-time investor to open a broking or a demat account.
Dinesh, which verticals pay the most? Is it IPO? Is it lending money an NBFC kind of vertical where you lend money for IPO or leverage, or is it this value add apps? Which helps you most?
See, Lata, I believe this value add app helps us the most because it is not that we are just dependent on IPO market. See, IPO market is also a one way of attracting new set of customers. But there are lots of kind of customers who start their journey straight away from secondary market. And you'll be surprised to know lots of youth, they start their journey from options. As I said that previously to educate people on FNO and all that used to take many months. Now, because of this youth is very social media friendly, they are able to download videos check videos on YouTube, check what experts have to say. So they are far more evolved and far more explorer in terms of understanding each and every kind of vertical in stock market. You'd be surprised to know people who start their journey just with delivery, they very fast progress towards hedging their position using algo trading. So this kind of formulas and kind of back testing with youth is very comfortable doing that. That has helped them to remain active in this market in all the segments, be it IPO, be it margin trading. They know when to leverage, when not, and when to use options. So what I am seeing, participation across all the segments is very robust.
And it is great to see, Mr. Thakkar, companies like yours, seamlessly transform from the traditional broking business now to almost a fintech-like player. I mean, you do have your master brand Angel One, which you are using to help connect with Gen Z. So tell us a little bit more about how you plan to sort of enter into this fintech platform in a big way. What are the steps that Angel Broking is taking and the industry on the whole, is taking to make this transition?
It took some time for us to really become a fully digital player. As you know that we were phygital players. We had almost 160 branch offices. So since 2015-16, when this current government announced this Digital India movement and Reliance gave this data package almost free, we saw huge penetration of smartphone. That is where we realized we have to build lots of digital assets, digital properties which can help people to understand this stock market better. That is where we started building robo-advisory engine, which we called ARQ. So this journey appears to be seamless transformation, but we know we have to grind through lots of kind of difficult phases. So in that phases, I think we had more of lows than highs. And we were wondering whether the step that we have taken is step in the right direction. And come 2018-19, when we went for an aggressive pricing and all that, we saw people accepting our approach and liking approach the way we have, because we have a good advisory team. We are the only player in digital player who have a big kind of research team with us. So we have combined this research team's capabilities with machine learning and gave lots of kind of like product which helps stock market player to understand market better, to give them advisory services, to educate people on what they are doing.
Okay.
Next phase is how to use this machine learning and algorithms so that we are able to identify different buckets of people who comes from different geography, different educational background, different experience in stock market, and give them a solution which matches this persona. Today, big challenge is how to give a personalized service in this digital world. So going forward, what we see is that we have to get lots of talent who have worked with global companies like Amazon, Google, Uber, Ola, who have seen this massive scale up and being more personal still after that scale. So good thing is that our industry now is able to attract talent who have worked with global multinational digital disruptors. So this is the first time I'm seeing people with this kind of like huge worked in huge global companies are ready and attracted, and they in fact they find this a challenging opportunity to convert this kind of companies to a full-fledged fintech company.
Got that, Dinesh. Let me ask what the competition is like. What is your sense, Mithun? I mean, there is an entity like Zerodha, which is all new, a digital native, didn't have to make a transition at all, born digital. And, you know, this kind of transition from physical to digital and become phygital, as Dinesh is saying, it's not a very high competition barrier. A lot of people can do that. So do you think the space could get commoditized as well?
Lata, I think obviously you saw one wave of digital with the Zerodha coming in a few years ago and capturing market share and become the largest online broker. We've seen others also enter the market. There is Grow. There is another platform called Upstocks, which are large players and are purely fintech. Now, I think is the challenge of the incumbent players trying to transform themselves into an online digital platform. Obviously Angel has been able to do that because the legacy that they had was not as much. But it could be more difficult for incumbent players to completely change their structure. I think competition is definitely going to come from the online players themselves, like the Grows, the Upstocks, and possibly larger fintech players like Bajaj Finance or even Paytm, who also are focusing on these areas as well.
So if we try and put some numbers to that, for angel broking, particularly the market share, equity market share is what I'm talking about, had risen in the quarter gone by to about 22.7% versus 20.8% the previous quarter. So Mr. Thakkar, what are you doing right to sort of increase your market share in such a competitive scenario, both digital and otherwise? And what are the steps that you will take to improve it further?
See, as I said that now it is more about how we are able to build our journeys using high-end technologies like machine learning and how we are able to delight our customers. That is more important. Acquiring a customer is one thing, but engaging them so that they are able to put their first trade and remain on our platform is a different challenge altogether. We have seen many players, they are able to acquire customer, but when it comes to engaging customer, I think that requires a good domain knowledge about how these customers behave in different geography. If you look at our app, it does not behave in the same way for all geographies across India. So that is where we have built lots of intelligent journeys. Almost we can say we have built journeys for 250 plus personas. So the way we work is that we have to check and we have to explore possibilities of pockets which are inactive and make them more active. So it is not just about rolling out an app or giving a best price. It is about how you can make your app very intelligent so that app is able to understand from day zero when a customer downloads an app till the time he is satisfied with what he wants to do. We have to build that journeys with the help of AI/ML. We cannot build without machine learning. That requires lots of kind of like high-end talent. So as I said that for us to shift from physical and give similar kind of service on digital platform took almost 4 to 5 years. For any player who wants to build or acquire a customer and get an engaging customer, he needs to build lots of kind of like journeys, which is very intelligent, which is based on requirement of that customer. So that is how we have made our app intelligent. And going forward, we are in the process of launching a multifunctional super app that will take around 2 to 3 quarters. What's the need for super app? We have seen millennials who are downloading an app, apart from stockbroking, when they want to acquire more financial assets, they want same journey, similar kind of journey on same app. They don't want to have 3 or 4 apps. That is where Angel is trying to position itself. We want to build a super app which is light on even like smartphones which are not very high end in tier 2, tier 3.
Yeah.
That requires a talent which can make this kind of an app capable.
Okay, got that. Thank you very much, Dinesh Thakkar and Mithun, for joining us with your thoughts. Angel has certainly made the cut, but there will be competition. As Mithun says, you know, what if the Paytms and the Bajaj Finances and everyone enters the space, and Upstocks? You know, the digital natives could be a very big challenge to this space, like Zerodha is. Interesting space to track. We will continue to do that. For the moment, it's a break, and we're coming back with another stock on our radar. Sanjay Agrawal, the Managing Director and CEO of Century Plyboard, joins us next. That's on the back of a new QR code protected plyboard that they are launching.